Okay, so if you watched the other two videos, you learned how to, build some cool rules, build some custom shape libraries. Let's talk about polishing this template up so that we might get ready to actually share with the team. Couple things I'd highlight. One of the things is, building a custom header is pretty easy. So I would be able to come in and maybe I want to add it here. If I did want to stop that kind of auto tiling, I can actually hop into page settings here and I'd be able to turn off the auto tiling and set a specific page size. I could come in and I could actually maybe add some dynamic fields. Maybe I want to insert things like maybe it's the page name and perhaps it is the document name as well. Maybe I want to include last modified by, and I could insert who did that and maybe an insert of when it was last modified as well. So these are all kind of dynamic fields that I could use. And I can then leverage text styles. Maybe I want to have it over here. I'd like the font to be slightly bigger, maybe italicized. I might make some of these bits bold and again, maybe a little bit bigger. Maybe the title won't be italicized. I could add, a fill color to this background. Update the text. Whoops, I went all white here. I can play around with the shape options, like maybe get rid of that rounding that's standard. I can even set default styles. If I wanted to, I could drag out some of these shapes and choose what the default style is. Although if I'm using the custom shape library, I can also just kind of base it off of that. One thing that is quite nice is the ability to add a diagram key. So if I have shapes, I can actually drag and drop them. And I could say that this is maybe the server shape, versus, let's say I'm using a different custom shape here. I could say that that's the firewall shape. And I can build out a diagram key so that people know what those shapes mean and what the maybe different icons mean. And it's sort of auto built and ready to go. I can also pin the libraries that I want in the template. So that might mean that I come in and check certain standard libraries, or as mentioned before, that kind of custom library. I can share that custom library, by the way, and grant access to teams or groups at the level I'd like. I could even rename certain shapes. So maybe I want to rename this one. This is going to be let's just say the server shape. And so I could clean up my custom shape library and have it ready, maybe even give it a name, as well as having it pinned over here. And so just generally polishing up this diagram and getting it set and ready to be used as a template. One final thing that I like to include is we do have this awesome integration with CloudApp and Loom, where I could insert as a playable video on the canvas, perhaps myself using the template, instructions on how to use it, so that when people on your team go to use this thing for the first time, they have some idea of how to use those custom shapes, how to use the data, what these conditional formatting rules do, and kind of how things will function. And I highly recommend including a video like that on the canvas for a custom template for your team. They can, again, play it right on the canvas, so they don't even have to jump out to another section. So it's great for enabling your team on the template. And when you're ready, you could just come in, file, convert to template, and you'd get to share this out with your team members. You could put it in a shared team folder, for example. And that template will be available in the team template picker, just ready to go for anyone to get started and use this more intelligent diagramming template here.